Today we're doing a behind the scenes look at a Smashcake photo session at our studio here at thesmashcake.com. Hello again, everybody. My name is Daniel Troutman, and today I'd like to invite you guys to beautiful downtown Albany, Oregon, where we have our studio here at thesmashcake.com. And today is kind of special because we're going to be walking you guys through a behind the scenes look at our last Smashcake photo session. Now, before we begin, I do want to remind you guys that thesmashcake.com is your online resource for all things Smashcake, whether it be photography tips, business advice, tips on building sets, or even a prop shop and camera gear section on the site where you can go ahead and get everything you need to be a successful Smashcake photographer. And it all lives over there at thesmashcake.com. So welcome to our studio. This is Studio B. We do have a smaller studio, but we use this one for large groups. And whenever we want to actually mix ambient light with artificial light, obviously this is the place to do it because, I mean, look at those windows, right? Now, today's goal is we are going to do an ultra simple set. We were requested by the client to just go ahead and do something that was just very plain, maybe some greenery, but just very, very simple. And so we're going to be blending natural light in with our artificial light because, in my opinion, artificial light is a little harsher than natural light. And so whenever you can use the majority of the natural light and then fill in the shadows with flash, that's what's going to give you that kind of soft look, and that's what we're chasing today. Now, today's set is a minimal set, and rather than just show you the behind the scenes of the actual photo shoot itself, I thought we'd go ahead and dissect how we built this set, how we lit this set, and then how we shot on the set. We're going to give you the full package today because honestly, I love behind the scenes videos of photo shoots, but if they don't show you how they got there, then it's just for entertainment value, and I'm all about educating you guys and getting you up to speed so that you can make Smashcake photography your full-time career. So let's go ahead and talk about what we used to build this set. So the first thing we need to talk about on how to build the set, of course, is what seamless paper we decided to go with. And when choosing seamless paper, it's always so much easier if you get one of these. Now, this is a seamless paper sample guide. And inside, there you go. Inside that sample guide, it's got everything, every color that they make, and it is a wonderful way of taking props that maybe you already have or an outfit that you already have, and then you go ahead and hold that outfit up against whatever color you're choosing for the seamless, and you can automatically see whether or not that the seamless is going to match the outfit or the prop that you have. Today's color is number 33 in the guide. It is Ivorine. We chose this color because we wanted a lighter color, but what we didn't want was a stark white. Okay, stark white does tend to make, especially us Oregonians or any of us that live in the Pacific Northwest, in the wintertime, it makes our skin look very, very pale, and it almost makes us look as if we are among the not so living. So we went ahead and chose Ivorine because we wanted that warm tone. And when you use artificial light and you throw it out everywhere, it's going to bounce off that paper, pick up some of that color, and throw it into the skin of your subject. So that is really one of the benefits of choosing a warmer paper, is that sometimes you can give your client a little bit of a suntan. Now, the first thing we want to add after the seamless is, of course, some greenery. Mom wanted a very Scandinavian kind of clean look, and part of that look is greenery. You know, it's very natural. But again, we didn't want to bulk up the set, so we decided to go with a very thin line in the background and then a garland that stretched across the seamless. Now, when you are designing these sets, I am going to say it is very important to leave enough time for you to experiment, okay? I had some extra time and decided that I was going to put some extra greenery in the foreground, shoot past that, and see what that would look like, and see if I could make the set look a little more visually interesting. And once I did that, ultimately, I decided that it was bulking up the set. It didn't work. But it's very important, and I wanted to let you know that it's always very important to experiment and to have fun, because that's how you discover new things. So after we added the greenery, we got to looking at it and realized we're gonna need another layer somewhere between the baby and the greenery, and we decided to go with balloons. Now, normally I use balloons to just explode color all over my set to get it wherever I need it to be, but today's not that day. We are going for a simple set. So I decided instead to go with translucent balloons, and I decided to put them in one long line instead of a bunch of clumps. Now, when you do these minimalist sets, it's nice to have props on the side so that the child can play with something, because really, when you're doing portraits on a very bare set, there's not much for the child to do. And once you've gotten your standard portraits, your happy face, your solemn face, or whatever, you got your toes and your fingers and all of those pictures, then what are you going to do? And I find that it makes for a boring album later when I take all of those images and I put them into an album. The album's kind of boring, as you flip through the pages, it all looks very similar. So to break that up, what we do is we just bring in props off to the side for the child to play with. Now today we brought in the bear basket. Now this is one of those items that was listed in our video on 5 cheap and easy props that everybody should be using on their Smash Cake sessions. And if you haven't seen that video, click the title card above my head there. You'll be transported over to that video. But the bear basket is really one of our go-tos, and we brought it in so the child would have something to play with. She could pull the bears out, or at the very least, the bears are in the background, making the image a little bit different so that when you flip through that album, it's not so dreadfully boring. The other prop we brought in was a letter N that's made out of wood. We scored this off of Amazon.com. And the nice thing about that is it kind of puts a little personal touch. The child's name started with N, therefore we used an N. I'm sure you didn't need me to tell you that, but it puts a little personal stamp on it. And when they hold it upside down or fling it around the room, it's just a lot of fun and it keeps them engaged. And it's just yet another set of images that can help you make that album look less boring. Now it's time to talk about the technical stuff. All right, how did we light this set and what did we use to light the set with? So let's go ahead and talk about that. For today's main light, we'll be using the Flashpoint Explorer 600 light with TTL and high-speed sync. And I do want to mention, before we get too deep into it, that this is the same light as the Godox AD600. Godox makes the Flashpoint Explorer lights for Adorama, and Adorama simply sells them under a different brand name. But it is the exact same 600 watt light. In addition to the amazing amount of power that you get with this light, I also chose this light because if you look at the back, there's no cord coming off the back because it's battery operated. Now this just helps make my set safer for the little ones because there aren't a bunch of stray cords on the ground. And as we all know, little ones like to grab a hold of cords and yank, and that could be catastrophic. Now, today's modifier on the main light is a 60-inch octabox, and the question I get all the time is why an octabox over a softbox? And honestly, the answer is kind of stupid, kind of silly, but here it is. I like the round catch light in the eye as opposed to the square one. Now the fill light is over here on the other side of the set, and you're going to notice straight away that it's another Flashpoint Explorer 600, but this time we're using a 7-foot umbrella instead of an octabox. Now, you may be wondering why, and it's simple. When I'm using a fill light, I want that fill light to spread all over the set, okay? Octaboxes and softboxes tend to be a little directional, and that's what makes them so great at lighting faces. You can light the face, but not the back of the set. You have a little bit of control, whereas with an umbrella, that's like a shotgun and it sprays everywhere. Now, in the back of my set, you're going to notice these overgrown, funky little speed lights. And I love these guys. These are my 200 watt speed lights. They're battery operated, no cords. I can take them anywhere, and they fit in a backpack, so they're perfect for travel. And today we're using them as kicker lights. Now the reason we're using them as kicker lights is because I don't really want a whole lot of power coming from the back of the set. And if you use a 600 watt light, even on minimal power, it still sometimes sprays too much light. So I opt for the Flashpoint Evolve 200 speed lights. Now in today's photo session, you're going to see me change lenses a lot. So let's go ahead and talk about the lenses that I'm using for today's shoot. The first lens is the Sony G Master 70-200 2.8. This is an amazing lens. I highly recommend it if you are a Sony shooter, obviously. And if you're not, definitely pick up a Canon version or a Nikon version of the 70-200. This lens is probably one of the best lenses for creating images with blurry backgrounds that sell no matter what genre it is that you're shooting. So senior portraits, headshots, the 70-200 is really a go-to lens. Now the next lens that you're going to see me use in today's shoot is the Sigma Art 50mm 1.4. This lens, I got to tell you, is an absolute beast when it comes to creating images that are completely tack sharp with a buttery background. The Sigma Art lens is so amazing that it actually changed my opinion on 50mm lenses in general. I hated 50mm lenses so much that I actually wrote a blog on where my hatred came from and how this lens changed my mind. And if you want to read that, hit the description section of this video. There will be a link to that blog over on thesmashcake.com. The next lens that we're using today is the Tamron 28-75 2.8 lens. I love this lens because it does have a little bit of zoom. If I need to zoom all the way into 75 and kind of blur out that background a little bit, I can go ahead and do that. And then if I need to go out to 28, I can go ahead and get a nice wide field of view. And I have the option just simply by turning the dial on the lens. So that kind of flexibility really comes in handy when you're shooting a little one, especially if they're running all over your set. That was the lighting, the set build, and the lenses that we used on this shoot. So now let's just get into the shoot itself. The way that we traditionally start our Smash Cake sessions is that we like to do a very quick, and I want you to emphasize very quick to your client, a very quick set of family images. So we'll take a picture of mom, dad, and baby. Then we'll take a picture of mom with the baby and dad with the baby. And then we move on quickly. Now, the reason for that is that if you spend too much time on the family portrait side of things, what happens is that little one's battery will deplete. And when it comes time to smash the cake, they simply won't have the energy and you won't get the images that your client is expecting. Well, I think we did a pretty good job of talking our way through what we did and why we did it. And now there's really nothing left to do but to just take a look at some of the images that we created on today's shoot. All right, everybody. Well, sadly, it is about that time where we have to say goodbye, but I do want to remind you that we have plenty more content out there for you on the world of Smash Cake photography. And if you're interested in that, of course, hit that subscribe button. That is what it's there for, and you will be the first to be notified every time we upload a video. Now, for those of you who do not want the party to end and you want to continue binge watching, definitely check out one of our videos over here. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Daniel Troutman with thesmashcake.com, and I hope you have a brilliant day.